But these are songs that were taught to us about healing the deer. There's a song in Mescalero Apache where, and there's not only a song, but a story that goes with it. And he said when he was a young boy, about 9 years old, he's coming home on the buckboard with his grandfather, and they came upon a deer. It's on one of the slopes as they're coming to their community, and right away he said, I reached under the buckboard for my 30-30 I was going to shoot, and my grandfather grabbed my hand and said, what are you doing? And I said, supper, supper. He said, no, look at that deer. He said, that deer is hobbling. It's ill. He said, you don't shoot animals that are hobbling, that are ill. He said, well, grandfather, what should I do? He said, heal that deer. Heal the deer? He said, I'm 9 years old, what do I know? He said, you don't know unless you get close to the deer. He said, something's wrong with that deer's leg. So he said, I went over there, and we looked at the deer, and the deer was hobbling, couldn't run away. And grandfather said, go and get close to the deer and speak to the deer. And he said, well, what should I say, grandfather? He said, I don't know, you're not close enough yet. And he said, well, how should I get close? He said, make a big circle around the deer and keep making that circle smaller and smaller and smaller, and until you can finally touch the deer and sing to the deer a melody that calms the deer. So I did. And I made the big circle, and it got smaller and smaller and smaller, and much to my surprise, the deer laid down. And I come running back, happy as can be, and said, grandfather, grandfather, the deer let me touch him. And he said, good, you're on your way to helping that deer heal. Now, he said, you stay with the deer, and I'm going to go back to the community and get some stuff to put on the deer's leg, and I'll be back. He said, okay, but keep singing to the deer and petting him, and pet him if you can. He said, well, he won't let me pet him. He said, well, not yet, but keep singing. So he said, grandfather took off. He came back in a while, and by then I could pet the deer, and I was so happy. I said, grandfather, the deer let me pet him. He said, well, that's good. Here, my son, he said, put this on the deer's leg. That'll help him heal better and quicker and feel better. And you stay with the deer tonight. And he said, what, tonight? Well, yeah. He said, you're okay. He said, it'll be okay out here. The deer stays out here alone. You're not going to be alone. You'll be with the deer. Okay, he said. So grandfather left. And at first, I didn't know what to do, but I sang all night to the deer, petted the deer, and I put some salve on his leg. And I went to sleep. And I woke up and I was laying alone on the grass. And the deer was standing on the hill. And I could see my grandfather coming back. And I was so happy. I said, grandfather, grandfather, look. And the deer was standing by himself and hobbling a little bit, but feeling a lot better. And he said, what did you do? He said, I healed the deer, grandfather, I healed the deer. He said, my son, you did not heal the deer. The deer would have healed without you. The deer healed you. And what you're going to find out about this is that later on, the song you sang to the deer, you can also sing to other people that'll heal them. And he said, you see, that deer did for you what you couldn't do for yourself, is to find patience and move slowly until finally someone trusts you. You learn trust and patience from that deer, and you'll never forget that. Now get in the buckboard. We got to go home for breakfast.